Joining me now is Robert Brake, whose parents have been missing since the floods swept through a Kerrville RV park and campground. Robert, first of all, thank you for taking the time to talk to us. I can't even begin to imagine what you're going through. And if I can help ask you to set the stage for people, take us back to early Friday morning. And as I understand it, you got a call from your brother about flooding, and your parents were staying in a tiny home on the campground that was washed away. What did your brother tell you, and what happened then?
Good morning, and thank you for giving us a platform to talk about the tragedy and what's going on here. He called 444 and asked me to call my dad and come to help him. He was staying in an RV. He lost his RV, his truck. He barely got out with his own life and his girlfriend, Irene. So I called my father, said, hey, go help Lucas. He's being swept away. Little did we know, my father and my mother, Johnny and Robert Brake, were in their own tragedy. My brother went up to see where they're at 7 minutes later, and all 50 of the cabins were gone, wiped away. And he was no more than 50 yards from where my brother was, and 7 minutes later, they were completely gone by the time he got there.
7 minutes? And what was the last thing you heard from them? What was the last conversation that you had with them?
When I called my dad, I said, Dad, you got to get down to Lucas. He needs some help. They were approximately almost 15 to 20 foot in elevation below my father. So that's how fast the river was rising. Because as I was hung up with my father, 7 minutes later, my brother called and said my parents were gone.
I know that you have been out searching for your parents ever since. What's that like? First of all, what's it like out there? And how are you even able to do that?
Well, thank you for asking that question. It's been terribly difficult. The first day, it's a roller coaster of emotions. I've checked the morgue. They're being shipped to Grimes Funeral Home. You check the morgue 6, 7, 8 times when they have a new body come in, and you hope not to hear they're there. And when you don't hear, it gives you an ounce of hope. But the community has been amazing here. I mean, the outpouring of support, and I got to tell you, I've never seen so much resources dedicated to one area. I've seen, it's unbelievable. The Texas DPS, Texas Game Wardens, Coast Guard, National Guard, local, state, you name it. There's been, so when you see that many resources on the ground so quickly, it provides more hope than I can possibly explain.
Tell us about how you keep that hope. How do you keep that hope?
I'll tell you, up until yesterday, it's difficult. Very difficult. You just keep trekking. My dad served in the Air Force. My mom served on the Dyess Air Force Base as a nurse with the soldiers. They were giving people. By the way, Dyess Air Force Base, the 7th Wing, has been instrumental in supporting us. The last couple of days, it's just been realizing my parents raised us to be those people. If I can't find my parents, but I can find somebody else and bring some closure to their lives, I'm okay with that. And I'll be honest with you. Just give me a second. Last night, I was at dinner and I asked my wife, I said, do you think the word's getting out? My wife kind of chuckled. She said, you haven't been on social media. You need to go look. And I just want to tell everybody, you know what? I read through thousands of posts last night till 2:30 a.m. I woke up this morning and by the grace of God, it put my feet on the ground and I've witnessed the most beautiful world I've seen in 50 years of being alive. I've had prayers and messages from people all over the world, people from different ethnicities, people from different religions, different Republicans, Democrats. It didn't matter. I've had it all. And you know what? It's allowed me to keep on moving because if hour by hour goes by and I realize the hope of finding my parents alive dwindle, and I also realize they're probably sitting right next to our good Lord and Savior. And with that, if it means me losing my parents for this world to treat each other just a little better for one day, just one day, if this country comes together for one day, different parties, political parties, different religions, if people just come together for one day, I'll accept losing my parents today if it meant they got to bring this world together.
We're looking at some photos of your parents that I think you probably provided one. Then we see them there, and your dad's arm is around your mother's shoulder, and you can see them both smiling. And then where they're dressed up for what looks like a formal event, and he looks so handsome, and she looks so beautiful. And tell us about your mom and dad.
You know, they were amazing. My father was a patriot through and through. He, because of his service, myself, my brother Lucas Brake and Liza Brake all served in the military honorably. And my mother served at Dyess Air Force Base as a nurse. And they just, you know what, as I push through every day, this is exactly how they raised us. You know, I've got an amazing family, brothers, sisters. My kids have been amazing. My friends have been amazing. But this is who we are as a family. And that's because of those two people that you're looking on the screen right there. They were full of faith. They were full of servant attitudes. And they loved and believed in this country for the good they seen in it. And they hardly ever talked about any of the negative they see. It was always positive for them. There's amazing people in this country, and there's amazing people in this world, and they recognize that, and they instilled that in us.
You mentioned you have kids. How are they doing?
Thank you for asking. They've been my daughter Brianna, Ryan Brake, and Taylor have been just instrumental in this process. My son has taken on a lot of the media for me. My daughter's been instrumental in the social media. So I couldn't ask for a more loving family at this time. They've been my saving grace.
And I just want to ask you finally, if there was one thing that you could put out there for people about your family, about what it seems like an unimaginable horror that you seem to be finding some good in, what's your message?
I'm going to leave you with this. Here's what I've learned at waking up at 5:30 this morning. You know what? I've seen the most beautiful part of this world in this tragedy. I can't speak for everybody because there's a lot of loss here, but I can tell you, I just thought this morning, if everybody can be this kind to everybody on a daily basis and not bicker and fight and argue, but be this kind, this world will be an amazing, amazing place. Set aside our differences and go love each other. I've had people offer so many prayers, so much support, and the people I haven't heard from that's just dropped to one knee in silence and just prayed for all of us down here, thank you. And I'll say this. You know what? It doesn't take much. Just smile at somebody today. Just open a door. Just walk somebody across the street. Just be kind. Say good morning. You don't know what somebody's going through today. That simple act of kindness, I don't care which political line you fall on. Just be kind to each other. And the world is a much more beautiful place than we give it credit for.
Well, if that's the message from you and your parents, because I think that sounds to me like where it came from, it's quite a message today amidst all this tragedy. Robert Brake, thank you. We're sending all the good thoughts and prayers your way to you, your family, and all the folks there.
Hey, thank you guys so very much. We are so appreciative of all you guys have done. It's a terribly difficult job for the reporters on the ground to report this. They're doing the best they can, but they're doing it with dignity and respect, and we're certainly appreciative of that here.
It's very generous of you. Thank you so much, Robert.
Thank you. Have a wonderful day. Thank you.
You too.
Be blessed.